Small huts, unfinished houses, rows of kiosks, dozens of mobile phone sellers, and roads that, let's say, put somewhat of a strain on any regular car. Goma, capital of the North Kivu province, seems as confusing as the political situation in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Many of the people on the streets are displaced from the surrounding areas of the city. They came to Goma in search of security. As a result of the persistently volatile situation in the eastern DRC, a consistently high number of people there live, at least from time to time, as so-called internally displaced people, IDPs. The ongoing conflicts force them to leave their homes again and again. For more than 10 years now, there's been chaos in North Kivu. Rebels, militias, and warlords fight for supremacy in a violent scramble for power and resources. The poorly trained, badly equipped Congolese army is, in many cases, rather another factor of instability than a reliable force to protect the civil population. The situation remains tense even when high-ranking leaders are arrested, as was the case in early 2009 with CNDP leader Laurent Nkunda. Everyone knows that there's always someone else to fill this vacuum, and so people continue to live in fear of rebels and militias. Even the UN forces can do little more than be present. In the second half of 2008 alone, several 100,000 people were forced to flee their villages due to clashes between Nkunda's forces and the Congolese army. Mid-2009, more than 500,000 people have fled their homes in South Kivu since military operations of the Congolese army called Kimia II against Rwandan Hutu rebels have started. They fled the violence manifesting itself in pillage, random killing, hostage takings, and rape. The city of Minova, an hour's drive southwest of Goma, is another main destination for internally displaced people from the country's northern regions. At first glance, life appears normal on Minova's dusty roads, merchants doing business, people carrying water and children heading for school. But as we look closer, we can see the signs and effects of the current conflict. Armored vehicles roam the streets, and there are soldiers everywhere. It's a humanitarian disaster. More than 30,000 displaced people were living packed together in Minova at the end of 2008. Some stayed with the locals, but most of them were forced to live in one of the city's 6 IDP camps. In this camp on the outskirts of Minova, children seem to play carefree. A life on the run, that's all they know. Some of them were even born in the IDP camp. The displaced families live huddled together in small tents made from banana leaves, protecting them from the weather. Some are lucky and get hold of a plastic canvas cover. Sifa Nirashuti was less lucky.
Sasa tulifika Minova vile njo tuko nasumbuka na njala kuteseka. Hawezi ona mvula inatunyesheaka hatupate nafasi ya kulala. Basi vile njo tuko na magumu, hatuna kango tulifika ni hatuna cha kuvala, tulikimbia ni hatuna kakitu. Waadui tena wa huku wanyonya wabandi wanatukamatia kule wanaharibisha wamama. Wakisha waharibisha basi tunaogopa, tunakufia na njala hapa, tunakosa ginzi tutaenda mpori tena.
Many displaced suffer the same fate or share memories of past suffering.
Kuko mtoto mwenye alikufa mu vita ni tuko nakimbia mwile vita ya kwetu Masisi. Sasa tulikimbiaka, mtoto njoo tulikimbiaka juri kwa masasi ya mingi. Niliko napiga na vibombe nikakimbia mtoto akapotea vile njoo alikufaka. mwingine alikufa magonjwa, mwingine akakufa njala.
She lives with her 2 remaining children. It's difficult enough to raise them under such circumstances. In the IDP camps, organizations like Malteser International provide basic supplies for the victims. For the time being, they're taken care of in the camps. They receive food and water as well as medical treatment, but many of their deepest wounds are invisible. It's already an enormous effort only to provide the most basic supplies to thousands of displaced.
C'est depuis décembre 2007 que nous avons reçu un afflux massif.
The number of displaced in Kivu increased dramatically after 2007. They find shelter in the camps, as well as in churches, private homes and schools.
Comme ici au poste d'État, d'autres dans les églises, dans les écoles. On est en train de servir.
We provide supplies for more than half of Minova's 12,000 households.
De 6,161 ménages.
Many of them can't return because of the unstable situation and the ongoing violence. There are always too many thugs who attack returning displaced and rape the women. Helpers distribute food rations on a large square outside Minova. They take their job very seriously. Their faces are sweaty and they're dusted white from the flour. The heat is unbearable.
Masumbuko Kayana. Masumbuko Kayana. Masumbuko Kayana.
The aid organizations provide the displaced with the most basic supplies. The distribution is strictly organized so as to avoid scuffles and quarrels.
Le département de l'aide humanitaire de la Commission européenne.
The Directorate General ECHO funds the food distribution project. The food is provided by the UN World Food Programme. Our partner, Malteser International, organizes the distribution of supplies to the refugees in Minova.
Avec des partenaires sur terrain, dont Malteser International, qui distribue la nourriture aux déplacés internes.
Each household receives its ration. An average number of 5 family members is estimated per household. Depending on the actual size of the family, the food will last approximately 30 days. It's a basic supply. No more, no less. Two heavy bags of flour, each weighing 30 kilos, and 2 jerry cans of oil now need to be brought to one of Minova's IDP camps. It's a tough road, especially on foot. Sifa Nirashuti and her husband have some experience when it comes to packing and carrying goods and supplies, but their heavy load takes its toll. They move along only slowly, and it becomes obvious how hard and steep their way is, especially the last part of their journey. She shares the same fate as many others, as this humanitarian crisis and the massive displacement of people is ongoing in Kivu's provinces.